What's going on, Junkie Nation? Gorgeous George and Ghost strike again. We got another star here on the line. Archie Hulk Colgan is 9-0, and he's going to be getting down at the Bellator card in Paris, France, coming up here in a few weeks against Thibault Gouti. He's the home game. You're. This is an away game for you, Archie. Are you into that, man? Going in there and just silencing the crowd?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. When I first originally got presented the fight, it was actually a different opponent, but for Paris, and he was from Ireland, and I was like, dang, that would have been cool to go all the way over there to fight somebody from Paris or from France. And a couple weeks later, they're like, hey, he turned it down, but this guy said yes. And I was like, let's go. So yeah, I'm excited for it. It's a great opportunity to go out there and shush the fans up a little bit, but also gain some new fans out of it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Are you I see that you're into comic books or superheroes or whatever. Were you ever into pro wrestling at all, where how there's the heel and the baby face, the good guy and the bad guy?
Yeah.
Are you even into all that? The flag or anything, or are you just more of a prize fighter at this point?
No, I don't know if I myself see myself journeying into that, but yeah, I was a fan. I don't keep up with it, but I'm a fan of the shows that I used to watch. Like, I'm a big fan of Batista. I got my 2-year-old son walking out doing the Batista entrance, doing that already. So I'm
Mhm.
still a fan of it, but yeah, just the old stuff that I used to watch mainly.
Well, hopefully we're putting stuff in your head and you can entertain it. I don't know if you get there 10 days early, a week early, or whatever, but you'll have some
Yeah.
free time. But yeah, man, like when Apollo Creed fought Ivan Drago. I mean, I grew up in that era, or bad guy, good guy type thing. And I always thought it was the coolest thing. And to separate yourself from other athletes, because you got just in PFL alone, they got regular season, right? They got the championship series, they got Bellator series. And over at MMA Junkie, we turned the page. Last week it was BKFC, Mike Perry, and then UFC had something going on with the flyweight. We turned the page, and
Yeah.
I want you fighters to stand out somehow, kind of somehow us not forget you. I guess that's why I'm throwing these ideas at you.
Yeah, I like that. I think that you're thinking outside of the box that most fighters are not thinking or wanting to even venture out there. So it's good to get, plugged in there. And obviously the guys who do it, they do get remembered. Sometimes it's
Mm-hmm.
not for the best, but they do get remembered. Um, and that's, I guess, ultimately at the end of the day what does put extra cheddar cheese in your pocket. And that's what
Yep.
we all want. You want to be remembered when you're done for the work that you did.
When you started out as a pro, did you say I want to get to 10-0 and then go from there? Like everyone's got long-term goals, but did you ever set any short goals, and was one of them like 10-0? And for example, you're 9-0, you could capture that in a few weeks in Paris, France.
Yeah. Not really. It wasn't like I was like, hey man, I just want to get to 10-0 one day or 5-0 or 15 or any of that. It was really just like I just want to not lose. I just don't want to lose. I just want to win. Like every single fight was not about like trying to hold on to an undefeated record or trying to be any of that. It was just like, man, I just don't want to lose. That's it. I just more than wanting to win, I just didn't want to lose. So, I just had to go out there and perform my best. And the next thing you know, it's like, dang, I'm 5-0. That's pretty cool. And then, oh, I'm 9-0, going for 10 now, and that's pretty cool. So what in 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks, I'm like, hey, 10-0. That's pretty cool. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one.
Every fight, there's a progression, right? What would you say is the perfect scenario for this fight that would make you happy?
Ah, man, perfect scenario to me is that I go out there. Obviously, I want the adversity of being booed in the home crowd. So I go out there and they say his name, and they uproar for him. They pronounce mine. Maybe they boo, maybe they don't, but they're definitely cheering for him. Um, and then I go out there and impose my will, and I go back to my finishing ways. 'Cause my past two fights have been, big step up in competition with, these guys had, 25, 30 fights. And I've come away with dominant decisions, but I want to get back to that finishing way. So coming out there, facing some adversity with the crowd, going through that pretty easily, dominating my way to a finish, and proving to everybody that, I can do to this level as I believe I could to the level that was, maybe a step behind.
I love that mind frame, that type of thinking. Archie, are you familiar with NFL pro football and the draft that just happened?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
All right,
not too familiar with the draft that just happened, but obviously I know football. Yeah.
you just moved up in our draft order. We interview a lot of people, all right, but
Yeah.
you just made some steps up to the top of
I
our
appreciate
list.
it.
I
Thank you.
do want to ask you this though. So your situation is a little different than other people. You've had to kind of grow up on the big stage, right? A lot of people
Hmm.
go through the ups and downs, make their way up there. You've had to kind of learn a lot in front of a lot of people for a long time. What's that been like? And what would you say is the biggest lesson that you've learned along this way?
Man, I would say that there's a lot to learn from it. But I think a lot of people probably overthink these things. Like at the end of the day, my pro debut was an LFA fight during COVID in 2021. So there was nobody in there. And then shortly after that, I get into these bigger fights and these bigger stages where there's, a full arena in Chicago, 20 or not 20, but probably like 12, 13,000 people are there. Um, and I think really at the end of the day, it's you fighting another person. That obviously when you add in all the people and the screaming and all of that, that adds an excitement to it. But if you get too jumbled up and thinking about, wow, there's this commentator's here or this guy sitting ringside, or wow, there's not a seat that I can see that's empty. Everyone's here. This place is filled. Then you add extra stress and anxiety to yourself that you don't even need to think about. At the end of the day, it's you versus another person, and the only thing that matters is what's about to happen for 15 minutes, maybe 25 if you're a champion. But all that other stuff does not matter, and it probably negatively matters if you play into it. You allow that to take away from your energy. I'm focused on the person who's standing across from me, and I hope that he's focused on me.
Yeah, I'm looking at your background and I see the Hulk there, and I love the Hulk too. But the Hulk has two sides of him, right? He's
Yeah,
Bruce Banner as well. What's one thing that you and Bruce Banner have in common? Because I know what you and the Hulk have in common.
yeah. Um, yeah, I think I am maybe not as soft looking as Bruce Banner, but I'm a happy guy. I just I want to be with my family and enjoying just things that people might call nerdy, like the Hulk. I like watching the Hulk. I like watching car videos on YouTube. Car racing, and I like to just do some things that people maybe just wouldn't expect of me. And when you said that, that's actually the reason why the Hulk is my favorite character, is because I really like the alter ego kind of motive. I like the show Naruto as well, and same thing for that. It's why I really like Naruto, is because he has the alter ego of him and the nine-tailed fox that's inside of him. That's the same reason why Hulk is my favorite. I really like I don't know why, but I really like the alter ego of being, just this normal guy who wants to live a normal life. But inside is the second side to you that most people do not know of and they do not want to see.
You're into cars. I wanted to ask you about Fast and the Furious. It came up the other day. I watched maybe the first two, and then I was over it, I think. I don't know. Because somebody had asked me about Paul Walker. Goes
Yeah.
and I saw him at UFC 60, which was like in 2006. He
Dang.
was a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. And there's probably a lot of fans that don't even know who he is. Um, but I guess it was kind of cool to see, a mainstream star training and all that stuff. But I wanted to ask you, are you into that series of movies? I think they got to 10. Would you like to see 11, or is enough?
They lost me after, like, when Vin Diesel was getting in a car wreck and grabbing cars and stopping them from moving, or when they went to Brazil and they were in the
Yes,
parking garage and he
the
stomped on the
Brazil
ground,
one.
and when they stomped on the ground and the whole parking garage broke underneath them, I was like, yeah, I'm checked out.
Hmm. That's exactly when they lost me too. That
The
same
Brazil
movie.
one.
Because
Yeah, I was like,
I got
yeah,
to
I'm done.
thinking, I was like, come on, man. I know it's a movie, but you guys have gone too far. Like, I can't even get like 6 of my friends to pick a movie and dinner, and you guys are pulling off the most elaborate shit in
For
other
real.
countries to top it all off. Like, Garrett, come on, man. It's too much
For
now.
real. It's no longer just car racing. It was like all this extravagant stuff. And I was like, all
Mhm.
right, I'm done.
Yeah, well, I can't remember what number Brazil was, but
I think it was 5.
oh,
I
5. So
think.
maybe I might have
Yeah.
skipped one and then tuned into that one or something like that. But yeah, I remember seeing some stunts where you're like, how is that really gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
love
Him and The
stunts,
Rock
but
fought.
yes,
They
exactly.
like tackled out of a building. I was like, come on. You
Mhm.
guys are normal men. You're dying.
And
Right.
how are the cops
The
not
first one
finding
was
them?
in the first one's in Barstow, and some guy's throwing up a triangle. Like, okay, I can appreciate that, right? But now the stuff that's going down in Brazil is like from outer space. Sorry, guys, what were you saying?
No, I was just gonna say, like, how bad is law enforcement that they can't find these guys? Like, they're not
I
gonna be
know.
driving a I don't know, a Honda Civic from 1978. Like, you know what they're gonna be. They're easy to
Seriously.
find. How
For
do you
real.
not
They're like,
catch them?
how do you not know to be like, look for a
Mhm.
matte black 1969 Dodge
Right.
Challenger?
Yeah. How many people do you see say, "Oh yeah, I was at the post office and this guy looked like The Rock"? Like, nobody looks like The Rock other than The Rock. Like, they're
For
easy to
real.
find.
Yeah. Yeah, they lost me.
Hey, let's tie a bow on that topic of you said adversity when you were picturing things. You said you didn't mind the booze, but at the same time, you're not gonna throw birds out at the fans or nothing like that. How do you think you can maybe what do you think you can maybe do to bring on the booze other than for it to happen organically? Is that something you want to maybe push buttons, or just because you're not from France, you expect to get booed?
Yeah, I guess I just expected the fact, not that I'm not from France, but that he is from France is why I expect to get booed. But yeah, once I go out there and do my job and um, get the finish that I'm expecting and planning on doing, uh, I'm usually like a heat of the moment kind of guy, so I haven't really thought anything through. But if they give me that opportunity on the microphone, I'm sure I can and put together something real smooth that can gather some fans.
If you want to win them over, wear a national French jersey of the soccer team. I think you'll win some fans over. If you want to
Yeah,
piss them off, wear it, and then when they cheer it, take it off and start stomping on it, and see how you become an enemy right then and there, man.
I might have to get freaking chauffeured out of there if I do that one.
Hey, maybe, but no one's gonna have a problem remembering your name. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I'm getting there 10 days before or 9 days before. Um, so maybe I'll do a little street shopping and see if I can't find me a jersey to throw on.
Yeah, well, there's their big star right now is a guy named Kylian Mbappe. I
Yeah.
think he's number 9. But if you want to go old school, there's a guy named Eric Cantona who used to flip his collar up. Like I said, this is if you want to gain some fans. They'd probably appreciate you, toasting an old hero of theirs and then flipping up your collar or whatever. So
What's his
just
name?
some ideas if you want to win the crowd. If you want to go that way. His name's Eric Cantona.
Okay, I'll try and check
Eric
him out.
Cantona. I'll have Jimmy here from PR text you that the
All
two
right.
possibilities because
Well, so,
Mbappe's kind of like the current flavor. Like there's
mhm.
probably going to be a million of those jerseys that you'll see in the week that you're there. Cantona's like, oh shit, homeboy did his research. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
All right.
feeling him. So
All
Especially if he
right.
does the collar flip. That'll be they might root against the other guy if you do
they
that.
might, they might yeah,
Shit. All
whatever
right.
Bellator gear you're wearing, if you have it underneath, and then all of a sudden you flip it and turn it around, I'm telling you, you're going to get a pop.
All right.
Mhm.
All right. All right. I might have to. I'm not have to. I'm gonna jump on Amazon and see if I can't prime that to me right now.
You got to do it, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Hulk
Get
Hogan.
on
Let's
that.
go. Got to
All
run on
right,
to something
Archie, it's
else
a
too.
blast getting to know you and chatting with you. And like Go said, yeah, man, we do a lot of these, and there's people that just go through the motions, and right away you're jumping off the screen with charisma and charm, and so that's why I know you can win a lot of fans. Plus that goose egg, bro, 9-0, that's outstanding. I always tell people
Thank you.
if in your first 10 fights you're either 10-0 or 9-1, you're championship material. Right? If you're 8-2, you're pretty solid. You're going to be around for a long time. you're going to be up, in the top 10 or whatever. But that usually, is a 20-0, an 18-2 or whatever. We talked to Patchy Mix a little while ago. He's 19-1. He's a champ. So you're on a really, really nice trajectory.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate the kind words, and yeah, I appreciate you guys.
All right. Appreciate you too, boss. Take care, man. We'll see you.
All right, we'll see you guys.